This month our guest speaker is Brett Kirchner, and funny thing about Brett is I've been calling him a different name for some time, and I didn't realize until this event that his last name was actually Kirchner, which is absurd because I've known him for quite some time, many years, and 7 years. And so I've been calling him Brett Eric because that was his social media handle. Maybe that's a middle name. Yeah. So I've been calling him Brett Eric. But Brett is a solid dude, as you can see, super fit, and one of his strengths, and where I actually met Brett was at Merit Athletic Clubs when I was seeing a trainer. Wasn't you, but I met Brett while he was a trainer at Merit Athletic Club, and what I noticed was, like most people can see, this dude stays lean, fit all the time, and I'm like, man, what is this guy? How does he stay so fit? But we got to know each other, and he's in his discipline. One of the things I really, really admire about Brett is his discipline. He's very calm, and he stays steady in what he does. And his approach, he's a really good listener. And so we got to talking and getting to know each other, and he has this entrepreneurial spirit about him that he is pursuing, and he's pursued different things, and now where he is a place where all of us have family members and friends that we know with an addiction or a problem, and this is a huge issue in our country, and Brett and his family have gone into this business that helps serve that community. And so, Brett, will you tell us currently, like, what you're doing right now at the moment in business, life? What do you have going on?
Yeah, I appreciate it, Tyler.
Yeah.
And again, another warm welcome to Tyler. Thank you for welcoming me. Yeah, like Tyler said, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Comeback Care. Basically, we're an outpatient treatment center for substance abuse. We're located in Glen Burnie, Maryland. From the housing end, we also have a recovery residence portion of the business, again, separate from the treatment. And basically, we provide services for people that are struggling from substance use, whether it's alcohol, opioids, whatever it may be. And we officially got started back in April. Basically, I've been mentored the past 4 years through my father. My father's been in the business, and I actually got the opportunity to bring him on board as partner as of a week ago. So again, what better partner than your father? But yeah, I just have a passion to serve this community, specifically this demographics when dealing with addiction and addiction treatment. I don't have any background in addiction. I do have a healthcare background, but I've always just had like a passion to serve people that are less fortunate, going through tough times. Because again, just from my past experience, if it wasn't for the support system that I had, during my rough times and my mid-20s, then I could fall susceptible to addiction, I feel. And that's basically what we're creating with Comeback Care, because at the end of the day, everybody has a comeback story.
We all have some addiction, right? That we deal with, and we just happen to judge. In my opinion, we judge that addiction worse than we might judge. Like if you're addicted to heroin, it's easy to judge that more than than whatever mine might be. I might be gambling. I don't have a gamble, but gambling. On a side note, I gambled a little while, a couple years ago. This was before I really dedicated my life to Christ, and so don't judge me. I was gambling baseball games that made no sense, and I got into it because I go hard and whatever I do. So I had somebody that would take my bets, and I would bet the most random baseball games, and I won a little bit, and then you get into it, it feels good, and then it's so easy to get addicted to something, and you like to win, and so I'm like, oh man, I can win this, and next thing you know, I was gambling thousands of dollars on some random baseball game, screaming at the screen, that made no sense. But I lost a bunch of money, and I was like, I wrote the money off, I gave it to the friend, I was like, delete my account, I'm done, I'm out. So, but I could have easily been an addict, and then who knows where that leads to. I could end up gambling all the money away, and the next thing you know, we start drinking, and then the next thing you know, I could easily be there. So I have realized that these addictions, and when folks come up to me, I feel like I have so many, I'm like drawing in certain types of people throughout my day. Just yesterday, driving down this, I'm walking on my daily walk. I end up calling Coach Corey afterwards, but a woman stops. I'm listening to, like, I have my morning routine. I know this is you, and I'm talking about me, so I'm sorry. But as you said that, as you're saying things, it makes me think. And so I'm walking, and this woman's driving down. I never had this one. Driving down the street, she stops with this broken down pickup truck yesterday in my neighborhood and pulls up to me, and she's like, gets out. Her black eyes, she was beat up, looking like a mess. And she was like, I need help. I was like, I'm in shorts and a t-shirt working out. And she was like, I need help. My boyfriend beat me up last night, and I got this, and like she looked just a mess. And immediately, like, I just felt for her, and I was like, just that emotion that you just felt, I saw you go there. And when she did that, like, I was like, whew, like, man, legit black eyes, like beat up bad. And she's like, don't worry though, I called police on that situation, but I need some money, I need to get to Salisbury. And like your first instinct is to be like, all right, you want to go get high, or you want to do this. But I was like, it's not for me to decide that. So I was like, I don't have any money because I don't have, like, I'm walking. So I can't help you with money, but I can pray with you. And like, I was like, and actually, you know what? You came here for a reason, and we're meeting isn't by coincidence. And so I'm gonna pray with you. And it was like I had tears coming down my eyes. I was like, God was meant, like, speaking to me as much as potentially to her. And maybe that it didn't go anywhere with her, but I stopped and prayed with her. And of course, as I'm praying with her, my wife's blowing my phone up. Everything's like happening all at once to stop this thing from happening. But it went on, and then my neighbor drives up. He's, Tyler, you all right? Because my eyes are closed. I got tears running down my eyes. And he's like, Tyler, you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. In fact, you got any money? Like, can you give her some money, because she needs some money? Like, and he goes in his wallet, and he's got, like, I could see a bunch of cash. I was like, I'm gonna give it back to you. Like, and he gives, like, he gets the 2 singles and gives like $2, and I was like, come on, bro, she can eat more than $2. So he gave the $2. I'm not judging him, but I did judge him, because I was like, come on, man, I know what you got there. And I had to deal with that judgment that, goes on, it perpetuates the judgment that we come up with. But what happened was, like, she stopped, and she was just like, like, she was like, man, I was like, that prayer that we just prayed, that was sincere from my heart. And I want you to know, you don't have to have this life that you're living, and God can change in an instant your situation. And that is what you do every day, and who you deal with. And if you have an encouraging word and you bring that heart of love and compassion, these people, you don't know who. I've seen so many people that have addiction problems and then go on and like do something amazing. You never know who you're going to end up speaking to, or what that person's going to become, and then go out and do something amazing, and impact the world in some way. So that action that you guys do, and I appreciate that your heart is in it the right way. And so much that when I'm looking at real estate, and this is a way that this kind of ties into the room, in addition to just the feel-good story that we're talking about, is what we do as real estate investors can provide housing, which I believe you need for your clients. Could you speak a little bit about how that looks and how that could potentially benefit you and your clients?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so there's definitely 2 different components when we're looking at like housing. From like a residential treatment side, I'll get into more about that, but more specifically with like a recovery residence. So like we do house primarily all of our clients right now, and with that, there's plenty of opportunity, because again we're capped at how much we can like actually like help people and grow by like the limited supply of like rental properties. Because right now, currently where we are in the business, we're not buying properties, we're just renting. Majority of our landlords are fully on board, never have any issues with what we're doing at the house, and we pay our rent on time, et cetera, et cetera. So again, there's the recovery side, and then there's actually like residential treatment side. So, you know, that's like different levels of care, you know, whether it's inpatient or like residential treatment, and also the commercial side as well. You know, when you get into like an inpatient center, which again, majority of the inpatient centers around here are full-on waiting list because they don't have enough beds. So,
Tyler, I have a question.
Yeah.
So a lot of times,
Yes.
I remember when I first got started, I used to teach. I taught 10 years, and I used to go to meetups at Bowie, the Bowie Area. I don't know if y'all know, it was at the Bowie Library. I used to sit over there, listen to Sherman Ragland. And I was trying to figure out how could I make money in real estate? Because I was a teacher, teaching history, government at Frederick Douglass High School. And there would be different people that came in, and they would teach on either wholesaling or notes, or they would everybody would talk about something they were doing. But what I was trying to figure out was how could I do it, right? So I've heard you talk a lot about what you're doing and so forth. And I don't know the different levels in here. There might be people that already have some multi-billion-dollar company. But I'm sure there's a lot of people in here that are like, how can I, right, maybe do what you do in my market, right? So my question to you is, based on everything you've said, we hear that. If there's somebody in here that's starting, that has, you know, a little bit of money, no money, some money, can they do what you do at a lower level? What would you tell these people as it relates to how they can maybe take advantage of what you're currently doing, maybe in their market?
Yeah, that's a good question. And how to start with, I think the way the market is right now, I'm sure a lot of you are feeling this, and we're all feeling unsure about where the market is and where it's going. And anybody that says they know is like straight lying, unless they're geniuses. I mean, we might have some geniuses, but I don't know. And I can tell you what I think is going to be good is not good, and what you don't think is going to be good becomes great. And there's no rhyme or reason. And the analytic, like people, the spreadsheet folks, I know there's some in here, and those people are probably going crazy right now because you can't track what is happening in the market. And one thing I want to talk about is starting out. One thing that is for sure is addiction is a real thing, and how that ties into what his question is. There's a demand for that always, and what not a demand for addiction, there's a demand for recovery. And he is providing the recovery services, and they need housing to facilitate what they're doing. So one thing that you might want to do is go into a place that there's a need, and it's kind of recession proof. And so what he has is recession proof, because addiction unfortunately doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. If anything, it's going to continue to get worse, in my opinion. So there's a demand and need for folks like him even more and more. And on the spiritual side, there's a need for Jesus, as I was just saying, like every day. So it is a spiritual problem, by the way. But we need housing. So if you buy the right housing, then companies like his can lease that housing from you. So if I was starting out, I wouldn't go into trying to flip houses just yet right now. If I was somewhere where I had houses, I'd be figuring out how to, where I am, work with guys like Brett. And this is what I'm thinking right now. I know there's businesses like his, and then other businesses that need the place to house the folks that they are currently administering this help to. So I would be looking at that. So what does that look like, Brett? What type of house? What type of bedroom count? How many bathrooms are needed? What level of renovation? What do we need to provide you? And then you're paying, I would assume, a little more than market rate.
Section 8? Is it the same as Section 8?
I would think it's more. It's more.
Yeah, it's more.
And it's set and it's stable, and like it's backed by a good company. I could be speaking out of turn with saying that, but I would think I'm interested in that as a businessman, helping you with that. So could you tell the room like what that housing looks like?
Location there. And location.
Oh yeah, and location. Good point.
Yeah, so I mean, if I were, looking for a house, or if someone wanted to find a house for me.
Speak up. Speak up. It's out there.
See now, I think it's important because you talked about what you're gonna do. Everybody
Okay.
said, but what? No,
totally cool.
I'm not talking about that. I'm saying,
You're right.
but come on now.
People
Come on
don't
now.
wanna- they're interested in how they
Here,
could benefit.
It's good to hear about the Lord, and we're excited about that, and that's what makes you come. But we want to know how. Right. And in addition to that, so now speak up.
So I will say, this is all in a nutshell.
Yes.
Okay, in a nutshell.
Yes.
I'm open for many conversations
Yes.
because I'm only one person.
Yes.
And if someone's passionate about what I'm doing, more than welcome to help you guys out.
Yes.
But in a nutshell, specifically looking at residential houses, we are looking to house up to 8 people. Because anything past 8 people, you need to have a sprinkler system.
Okay.
Okay? So basically what that looks like, each bedroom has to be 120 square foot.
What does 120 square foot look like?
12 by 10.
12 by 10, there you go.
Each bedroom.
Each
Each
bedroom.
bedroom. So 2 people per bedroom, 2 bathrooms. And as far as location, I mean, again, right now we're in Anne Arundel County. We have a property in Anne Arundel County, and then we have 2 properties up on the east side of Baltimore. Obviously, the bigger the house, more than likely the better, for sure. But yeah, that's in a nutshell. So you have to get, you don't need to get any kind of use and occupancy permits. We're not licensing this house, anything like that. Again, if you're just leasing it to my company, I'm just looking for a house that I can send my clients there and pay you monthly. Now, if you wanted to turn it into a residential recovery, then that's, you know, MCOR, which is a state governing body for residential recovery. They do have specific criteria, and we have all that information. So,
What type of rents could you expect to pay? Would you expect to pay for a 4-bedroom that meets that criteria? A 4-bedroom house, 2 bathrooms, and meets that criteria for you to house 8 people in that house. Like, is there a going rate in Anne Arundel County, or is it like case by case?
it's definitely case by case. So, I mean, Anne Arundel County is definitely higher, but again, if we're in Anne Arundel County, it makes sense from a logistical standpoint. But the places that were on the east side of Baltimore were all freshly renovated. That's definitely something we're looking for, is quality houses. You know, we want these people to feel like it's actually a warm, comforting environment, not just some place that just got thrown together.
Yeah.
But typically, like our rents that we're paying right now range from like $2,000 to like $2,300. But again, the market's obviously definitely changed, and as a company, we've had to adapt to the rising costs and the rents. So
Do they need to be furnished?
no, we handle all the furnishing. We handle, I mean, yeah, we handle all the furnishing. We handle basically all of like the management of like, if a toilet gets, you know, broken, I'm not going to be like calling you unless it's like that. Like, we have like our own team of people, you know, contractors or, you know, maintenance guy that will go, you know, take care, as long as it's not like a major issue.
Is it like standard leases, like a 12-month lease or a month-to-month? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, typically,
We do 3 years.
3, okay.
yeah, we've gone up to 3 years. You know, some landlords want to like get a feel for our company, so we'll keep it a year. But again, another
So
organization.
okay.
Exactly.
All right. So it isn't like, you know, like in 30 days we're out, you know?
Oh, no,
Okay,
no.
all right.
That's what it's like cause insurance. I did we have 4 people living and here was one.
Insurance.
Insurance and liability, you said?
Yeah, the question was, how's it dealt with the insurance and liability
So, I
insurance?
mean, my father, the finance guy,
We have our own insurance for that. The landlord isn't responsible for anything like that. We have our own insurance for our clients and for the house.
So y'all take on the insurance.
What's that?
So y'all take on the insurance.
Yes, yes.
Well, in certain jurisdictions, a certain amount of people are allowed in certain houses. Baltimore City is 4 unrelated. If I go to 5, you're talking 8, okay? I gotta do a rooming house. And then I have to go to zoning. And then zoning, it's the neighbors across from me, behind me, in front of me. If one shows up, it's killed. If I rent 4 rooms out of a house, okay? I can get $2,000 a month for the 4 people because it's about $165 a week. So I don't know how you're handling the insurance on them. I'm still going to carry homeowners insurance, correct?
Correct. I don't understand your question.
The question is, 8 people is a rooming house.
Right?
It has to be zoned for that.
Let's get the reasonable
Each
accommodation.
jurisdiction has certain criteria.
Right. Each county has
Now, if they
certain.
were all related, you could have 20 people.
Right. So it's called a reasonable accommodation. Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So again, I don't understand your question.
Yeah, what's the question,
It's down
sir?
to zoning of that house, individual house.
Yeah, yeah.
You said you can't have a rooming house.
Yeah, you can't, he's saying that you can't, so there is that consideration when you're looking at these houses, you gotta make sure that he's able to do what he needs to do in your jurisdiction. And Baltimore City has that rule. Anne Arundel County is probably different, just like any other county.
Baltimore and
So
Baltimore
do
County.
the required there to keep them.
Yep.
I have a question. So pertaining to zoning, like we just mentioned, who would investigate that? Would your company investigate that, or is it our responsibility to take care of?
That would be us.
Yeah, that would be us.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it's good. Any more questions? And then if not, we'll call a rapid. Oh, there's got a question.
So does your company pay the monthly rent, or you said you get your funding through Medicaid? Does it come like how Section 8 comes?
So our company, Come Back Care, pays the rent.
First of the month every month?
Yeah.
And with your 3-year leases, do we negotiate like rent increases?
Yes.
Okay.
So does it bypass that zoning issue that he mentioned because you would be renting to your company and not to 8 individuals? Does that,
Yeah.
Running to us. It comes.
so is that what bypasses that rooming house law?
Correct. Correct.
So I believe you mentioned that you cover certain upkeep of the home after the tenants are occupying the space. But you said that in the event there's something major happens, then what is considered major?
I mean, like a roof leak or HVAC, stuff like that. Again, as long as it's not.
Understood. Just wanted clarification. Thank you.
There was a question back there.
What kind of pushback do you get in these residential neighborhoods, if any, from the neighbors? Once it's up and running, they realize, oh, this isn't, a young couple with kids, this is a recovery house. Does that come up, and how do you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely, you have to be selective of the neighborhood for sure. But again, like our houses are managed. So yeah, okay, there's people in recovery in there, but we are managing them 24/7. Any kind of I'm sorry, what?
I said it's not like wild parties or something.
Yeah, it's not like wall parties. So yeah, I mean, it's all like we haven't had any kind of pushback from any neighbors or anything of that nature. So
Is it one manager per home, or does it depend on?
correct, one manager per home.
Got it.
And the manager resides in the home?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I would think, in my opinion, you don't want to set this up in a neighborhood where houses are $600,000, $700,000, $800,000. I'm sure you're going to get a bunch of pushback if you do that. So you got to be smart about where you're buying. And it wouldn't make any sense financially for you to do that anyways as an investor. So, where are you guys in Anne Arundel County? I would assume Brooklyn Park area, some Glen Burnie. Not to put that down. I live in North Anne Arundel County, so I'm not saying that this is derogatory, but that's where I would think, where the price of homes, you can still acquire an investment property in a Brooklyn Park for $150,000, $160,000 and then renovate it and still cash flow positive, I would imagine. Anybody have any other? John, you got a question?
Do you provide housing for every patient you have?
Currently, right now, yes, with the demographic that we serve, you know, majority of them don't have housing. So,
How many patients do you have right now?
I believe we're at 25.
It's not bad for anyone.
Yeah, I mean, again, our biggest hurdle right now has been finding, you know, like the counselors and actually finding people that actually want to work and show up to the first day of work, even after signing an offer letter. That's a whole nother story. And again, the housing component is a huge component. Like again, like once we're ready to grow, like we've had a waiting list multiple times, even since April. And winter's coming, and that's when everybody, you know, seeks shelter. So, yes, ma'am.
How often are the tenants are turning over, like your patients? I think that would be a big concern too. Like, are they coming in and out constantly? Are you only keeping people for about 30 days? Or are you keeping them for months? Are they staying for a year?
Yeah, so I mean, that's definitely, it's hard to answer that because again, some clients have been there since April. Some clients, I had a client last week, he was barely there a couple of days because, you know, we're very strict on not using inside the house, et cetera, et cetera. But ideally, you know, it's having them at least like 3 to 4 months.
So after they've been in the program, do you assist them in finding housing?
I'm sorry, say that one more
Do
time.
you assist them in finding housing after they complete the program?
So yeah, we have reached out to like various resources within like Anne Arundel County that have like, you know, housing programs to help them find housing vouchers and, you know, get integrated back into society. So.
What else can we help you with in terms of, yes, we're all here for ourselves, but for some of us that have a background in mental health and all that, what else do you need from us?
Good question. Yeah, great question. I think it's like my biggest hurdle right now is like finding staff, you know, specifically counselors. But the major thing right now has just definitely been like staff, which has definitely kind of like held our company back from like growing. So.
Are you state certified?
State license.
Well, state license, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
That was my question. I want to know if I had the license.
Got any?
What's that age demographic that you said?
Yeah, currently right now we're 18 to 65.
All right, I think that's a wrap. Oh, we got one.
Howard, so finish up from the story. How did it end with the woman that?
Oh, so so she got her $2, and I was like, you know, I was like, I'm sorry. Like he gave $2. I would have liked him to give more, and my heart is, you know, I feel for you. Is what I said. I was like, I feel your pain and like your burdens, like you're carrying, and I want you to know, like, there's a brighter day, and like there's things I've had tough times in my life. I've never been like to where you are, and so I can't put myself in your shoes, but I feel for you, and my prayer is like sincere and real, and I want you to know like God loves you, and He has a place for you. He wants to see you like just completely redeemed and in a place where you're winning in life and you're not dealing with these things. So I encourage you to give that up, and like and I encourage you to pray, and then just start waking up in a morning routine that where you could start finding things that you're thankful for, even in the midst of whatever you're dealing with. And so that's what I told her, and I was like, I had offered her encouragement. I didn't give her money, and I would have if I had it on me. And it's probably good that I didn't, because I'm like giving like that. And my wife called me, and when I told her what happened, she was like, you gotta be careful, like all this stuff, you know. And I'm like, what's this woman gonna do? But she grew up in Pigtown, so she looks at life from her lens, my wife's lens, and so she looks out for protecting me because I'm giving, and like I like to help people. So that's where I left it. And then the guy, and I walked off, and I prayed for her, continue after that. And then I'm gonna have a conversation with my friend, like, hey man, I told you I was gonna give my neighbor, I was gonna give you the money back. You only gave $2. Like I was gonna give it back to you. She needed help. That's why I was there. And then I'll share my story, why I was there, why I'm crying with this random woman. And so who knows where that goes.
So you think she was a candidate for your program?
Sounds like it.
I didn't get into the addiction, like what she had going on. I just knew she had a rough couple nights or days, years, who knows, like she was in a bad spot. But what I thought of was like the story in the Bible where like the guy was all beat up on the side of the road. And the guys like Pharisees and Sadducees, the guys that were like, you know, that are supposedly the most religious, walk right past, and then the Good Samaritan came and put him up in a hotel and took care of him, and that's how we're supposed to be. So I thought of that when I saw her. I was like, don't be that person that just walks by, and that happens every day if we are open to it. So that was my thinking, and the reason why I read the Bible so much is so that those things are in my mind, so I could then live and walk it out in faith and action, not just words. So that's what this is about. Like, it's putting the words that we read and learn into action, and that's what I want to see. And you see the people that we bring up to speak, it might not be exactly what a lot of the other meetups, and that's intentional on purpose. I don't want to talk about dollars and cents. It's way more than that to me. And so the dollars and cents, yeah, that's important. We got to have it. If you don't have it, it can be pretty sucky out here. And I've had the beat down on my life in finances, and I know what that looks like. And if you're a person out here that doesn't have a lot of money right now, you just have to keep on the grind and stay consistent, but put the things that are more important first, and then let those, the money will follow if you do the right things along the way. And maybe they don't, but you'll still be rich. So the richness is much more to me than just the dollars. So Brett, I appreciate you, and I thank you for sharing your heart, and you wear it on your sleeve. I love that. To hang out and network. That's what this is about. Make sure you exchange some contacts, grow in the community, and keep coming back. And next month, I believe it's October 21st is the next meetup. It seems like these months go so fast. And so try to meet somebody that you don't know.
Is there a way we can donate? Do you have are you guys a nonprofit, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I mean, we're for profit.
Oh, you're for profit?
Yeah, we're for profit.
Do you still take donations and stuff like that?
I mean, yeah, I mean, winter's coming, so food, clothing, I mean, that would greatly be appreciated.
Do you partner with different churches?
Currently, right now, we're not partnered with any various church organization, but
Do you have a website?
we have a website, yeah.
Would you like to partner with different churches?
Absolutely, I'm open for, again, if you guys want to talk, like, I can definitely give you guys my card and talk on a one-on-one basis. But yeah, we do have a website, comebackcare.com.
Everybody hear that?
Comebackcare.com. I have business cards, so if you guys have ideas how you could potentially help me that I'm not even thinking of right now, I'm always open for suggestions and whatever you guys can provide. So there you go.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much.